Always a treat.
Jenny, before we get started, I thought I'd just say that I think one of the things that is a revolution about our podcast was brought up by somebody on Twitter today who mentioned that we had a legendary guest on, I guess, 2 weeks ago, the Anne Murray, and we didn't let her talk at all. And I think did you see that comment?
No, I didn't. Somebody said that we didn't let her talk?
Yes. It's like, what's wrong with these two? They don't let their guests talk. They just talk about themselves.
Really?
And
who was it? I'm going to fucking go bananas on this person.
What are you going to do because of how accurate it is?
Guys, I have the exact quote if you want it.
Oh, please.
I would love to hear it, Guy.
Sandra Pattison says, do these people know how to interview? It's Anne Murray, an icon. It seemed more about them than Anne.
Yeah, that feels...
that's why I wanted to do the podcast, just to be able to talk to you about how you interviewed Anne Murray. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
If you would just excuse us, guest, we were talking.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I hate when our guests interrupt us.
Who does she think she is? Well, I'll tell you who she is.
Are you gonna introduce her?
I think I might.
Okay, I'll let you do it.
I've known her longer. Jump in.
I know she likes me more, so there's a...
I don't know. Probably.
We'll figure it out.
I mean, you know her from television and movies, and I know her from a failed pilot that I did many years ago, before she was Mrs. Big Shot Fancy Pants, Shonda Rhimes lady. Please welcome the talented, and may I say in this day and age, beautiful.
Oh, thanks, bud.
You can't say
Kate
that.
Walsh.
Thank you. Thank you, Danny. Here's the thing, but Danny, you do yourself a disservice. Didn't we shoot, in fact, 5 episodes of Men's Room?
It's
actually 6. Okay, I remember it was during the lunch break of the final taping when none of us had any, maybe John Cho knew, but none of us had any fucking clue. And you came to us during the lunch break, and we literally were like, thought we were going to get the pickup, and you were like, you're canceled. It was like, or like, wasn't it lunch before we taped or something?
Yes, it was.
We were all like, here we go. We're getting that pickup.
Well,
I've never been so misdirected in my life. I was like, oh.
This would make more sense as to why you like me better than...
Kate, I'm going to piggyback onto that story just a little bit, because I've told this before. What was even worse, so we did a show, what was it, around like 2003, maybe 2002, but it was called a pilot I did called The Men's Room with John Cho and Scott Wolf and Kate and
Cohen.
What was her name?
Scott Cohen, not Scott Wolf.
I said Scott Cohen, didn't I? Or did I say
Scott Wolf?
Because you have Scott Wolf, which is totally admirable. I totally get it.
No, I love Scott. We'll just put Wolf in my mouth later when we shoot this, okay, Guy. But what was worse was the night before. So we were doing it with NBC Studios for NBC. The night before, or that afternoon before, the reason you all thought you were getting a pickup was I got a call from the studio saying, we've seen all the cuts. We love it. This is the pilot this is the show we're most excited about. I really feel good about it. And at that point, I'd been in the business a number of years to know, well, that's until it's signed, you don't share that. But it was such good news. Before you wrapped rehearsal, I went down there and I said, hey, listen to this message I just got from the studio. Only to the next day hear that Kevin Riley said, no, we're not putting it on the air. So I really fucked everybody over so hard. Everybody landed on their feet.
Well, you have a positive attitude, and it showed.
We had fun though.
That was gonna be
fun. Oh God, I look like a swollen tick, but whatever. Hi guys.
Oh my God, not mine. But yeah, it was a fun time. How do you guys know? Now I've monopolized. Jenny, you go.
Well, she was in a pilot that I made. No, we went to, we have mutual friends, and we just kind of met through
Sterling,
friends.
Right?
Yeah, through Sterling, and then we moved him away, and then we became friends.
Yeah.
We used him to form a friendship.
He was a conduit.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we happen to know a lot of the same people. Jonathan Gabay, I remember like we went to his Super Bowl party and everything. So we just became buds through that, and then through the social media world, we always are horrible and direct message each other terrible things.
Yeah. Yes. We're the only place it's safe on direct message. No one sees that. I'm sure the government doesn't look. I assume that everyone. You also met when I was with Chris Case.
Yes,
and you
I did.
But I remember, for some reason, this just made me think of, because we DM as if nobody's ever going to have access to direct messages, but I assume the government and the aliens are watching everything. But I remember when, like a few years back, because that was when I met you, I was dating Chris, and I remember this whole thing came out. I think it was with Jennifer Lawrence, the naked pictures came out.
Yeah.
Remember? Like it was all this big scandal. And he's like, text me, he's like, you gotta like look at the photo out there. They're getting it from the cloud. They're getting the pictures from the cloud. And I'm like, okay. And then I was like, there are zero sexy pictures of us. There's literally cat pictures in my fucking album. I mean, that's why we didn't work out in the end. He's like, look, make sure to delete it. I was like, there's no sexy pictures. Nothing.
I'm like, I wish somebody have fun with my phone. Even. I have like a million times where people will go like, oh, do you get, guys try to like DM you dick pics? I'm like, not enough. I'd love to see more. I screenshot it. I sent it to all my friends. Like I wish somebody would take my phone. It'd be hilarious. There's nothing on it. I would be proud.
Now I'm wondering, now I just got to figure out what was Chris hiding? Like what weird thing? Because I mean, to be that worried.
Let's get him on the horn.
I think it was just like you're paranoid at first when you hear something like that. Then you really look at like, who the hell? How important do I think I am? Look at my pictures. It's just like all of my dog.
I just want to know, like,
my dog and cat on their back. That's pretty simple, but whatever.
Is there anything in my teeth? Like it's fine. I just want do I look like do I look fat? That's like my main thing. Like have I like what's the angle? Is it a low angle? Yeah.
If it's a good angle of me, I'm like, I don't care.
I could, honestly, I could just be covered in dicks. I'll be totally happy as long as like my face looks sort of chiseled.
Covered in dicks.
By the way, covered in dicks that's my memoir.
There it is. Covered in dicks.
Yeah, that's my memoir. Covered in dicks. My 30 years in Hollywood.
I touch my dick on everything in the writer's room. The Danny Zuker story.
I can do that.
Yeah.
When I stay late, I have an uncontrollable urge to just put my stuff on things.
If I had a dick, I will tell you, I would touch everything.
Yeah.
I would just go in the room and just boop, boop, boop. I would. How could you not?
No, I know.
I could say something too. Yes. How terrible can you be on this podcast? I wonder how terrible. How terrible.
We're gonna see.
Really terrible. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say horrible. We've said horrible stuff. So, but if you're worried.
To Anne Murray. No, I was thinking I just would love that if we come out of COVID and there's just a whole new rules of writer's room where you can put your junk on everything. Like no Me Tooing, but you can put your dick on everything that's inanimate in the room, and that's totally safe. I just want to make up ridiculous new rules like post-pandemic. We thought about it, guys, and here's where we landed. You can put your boobs and your dick on everything. You can't touch another person.
No.
But you can put it on like the Xerox machine, the area where you like the salt and pepper things from like to take out.
All the LaCroix water.
Yeah.
That's like what fuels writers. Yeah, whatever. Everybody. Yeah. They all bathe naked in sparkling water.
Should we get this new rule to Bill Maher? I mean,
I feel like we should put it in there. Get him on it.
Yeah, maybe he could say it in a really pissy way. No, he seems really nice.
Okay.
Anyway,
are we gonna try to? Okay, let's try to be interviewers right now.
Go.
Okay. Kate, are you in town? Are you still in Australia?
No, I'm in Australia. I'm in Western Australia, to be precise.
And how long have you been there? Tell us your journey
here. I've been here for 9 months. Since March. Yeah, since the beginning of this whole thing. I came here to visit a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And speaking of touching dicks on everything.
And so I stayed. Yeah. And I've been living here. And it's been pretty amazing because there's no COVID. They pretty much eradicated COVID in the by end of May, June. So everything is open. There's no masks. There's no COVID. Like,
So
it's crazy.
You mean
it
to
all
tell me that everyone just paid attention and wore a mask and stayed home for a little bit, and then it went away?
And then it went away. We don't have it.
What are the odds? Who would have thought that just
No.
something that simple, and then you're right back at it?
No, I was just on. It's funny. Right before this, I was just on Raya. No big deal. I got in, and with an Australian lady who said that who was saying the same thing, that they just, there's nothing. You can just everybody obeyed the rules, and it's totally free there.
Yeah. Nobody's freedom was taken from wearing a mask. None of the people shout and scream.
Yeah, nobody went and protested. No, I mean, people still bitch and moan like that because Mark McGowan, the premier here, who basically, especially in Western Australia, the state was the first to be completely COVID free, and everyone was bitching and moaning because he kept the borders shut between the states. But that's how we're able to have a normal life and go to the restaurants and work.
Go live your life.
Are you in Perth?
Yeah, I'm in Perth. Yeah.
That's that's the most remote city of all. Isn't that one of the most remote cities on the planet?
I think it is the most remote city in the world.
Yeah.
And we're about we're on the western side of Australia. So it's about a 5-hour flight to Sydney.
Yeah.
And it's stunning. I mean, I'm literally 50, I'm going to say meters, guys, because I've moved to metrics. I'm trying.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Okay. Drink that in from the ocean. It's beautiful. I'll just show you. This is what I'm looking at.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
yeah. The sand pile to the left, because, there's still construction going on. Wherever I go, someone's doing construction. So that's just sort of a...
Wherever you go, construction
paradise, COVID free, but there is a jackhammer that starts at about, actually they're done with the jackhammering. So
is that a reference to your new man?
What's up, the jackhammer?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, Jack, it's
under construction.
Jackhammer Dundee.
Under construction is another nail polish.
Yeah.
That's another OPI.
Jackhammered.
Jackhammering.
Jackhammering an hour.
Jackhammer.
And are you
the summer color?
Are you working at all there? Do you are you
I love that you asked that with your tonal, your tonal inflection went up about 8 decibels. Are you working?
Yeah.
I know. Can I?
Are you donating to charities?
Such a pretty little girl.
I know.
I did do a play, which was the first, I think, the only play being done in the world. Literally, I mean, it was incredible to have people in a theater and not have to be social distanced. And so I did a play for about a month, and then we just finished that. But I think I'm bringing a streaming television show to shoot here in 2021, in probably spring, or our spring, their fall. That's the thing that's the most confusing here. It's not driving on the other side of the road. It's not metrics, which is still challenging, let me be honest. But it is the opposite seasons. We're in summer now.
Right.
So that's weird to be okay, summer. But anyway, so that's a long way of saying, yes, I'm going to be working more. We've been working really hard to get a studio built because this is amazing here. And I was like, why aren't people shooting more TV and film here? It's incredible. It's stunning. The state is about as big as Texas, but there's only 2.7 million people in the whole state. And it's the geography. I mean, the Kimberleys are beautiful. It's like the Grand Canyon, then the Indian Ocean, then powder white sand, dunes. It's incredible. And so they've been trying to get a studio built, and then I came and started, yippee yapping about it. And then between COVID and everything else, there seems to be a real movement. I think that's going to get done. But that's what I aim to do, is bring a streaming show here. The guy, Mark Williams, who wrote and directed Honest Thief, this movie I did with Liam Neeson, and he's at first I was like, you should come shoot a TV show here. He's like, you're in love. So that's really cute. But, and now too, he's back, he's shooting a movie in Melbourne. And so is everyone in Australia is the pretty girl to dance, because it's COVID free basically. And
I dream of doing that. I want to just do it. I want to do anything anywhere else.
Well, you know what to do. It's what we need to do is get Jetty, get down here, Jim Jeffries is from here. He's actually, I think he's meant to come through to do stand up in January. Actually, I have to, because he's from here. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why aren't we make a sitcom here for crying out loud?
I thought that for a long time. I mean, because we shot there, our show there, and like we were there for like almost a month shooting, and it was so great, and the people were. I just love. I mean, not in Perth, but like outside of Sydney, and then up in by the Great Barrier Reef, and I just thought, oh, it's so much easier here. It's so much nicer there.
So nice. It's really nice. Yeah.
So you haven't been, I have to ask, so you have been there for what, 8 months, 9 months?
9 months. Yeah.
You could have had a baby.
September.
I know. I was going to say, like, is that why you went? Is that
I had
have a secret baby?
I had a secret baby.
You can't do that because you're my favorite. Like, we're fellow childless, happy people.
We're
like,
childless. I'm barren. I'm proudly barren.
It's the best thing to not have kids.
Trust me, I can't get an erection. I haven't been able to get an erection for almost 5 years, so I get it.
Save it for Raya. Save it for Raya.
No jackhammering right now.
I'm the ball peen. It's not a jackhammer.
But I did see. So you are on one of my favorite shows, Umbrella Academy.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite. I just saw that they're going to be starting back up in February.
Yeah, they are.
And will you be?
I'm not coming back this time.
All right, so it was nice having you, Danny.
Really, I know. Bye. He's done. Nobody now. I'm worthless. Why didn't I do that multi-year deal? Yeah, no, I just, I was like, well, you could have killed me a little more ceremoniously than just another gunshot. Like, shouldn't you have decapitated the handler if you're really not going to have her come back? But at any rate.
Yeah, I mean, because you've already taken bullet wounds like that.
I have. I had one to the head and I survived it on account of that metal plate. So, yeah.
So there's no chance of you getting
no. I don't think so, unless they surprised me, but I don't think so. I mean, Steve Blackman knows I'm here. I think he's made it. He's like, oh, you're never coming home. But no, Danny, you might appreciate this. I did say when the handler came back for season 2, because I had been shot in the head, I was like, we have to at least have one line explaining, because the writers didn't put it in. I was like, can I just say, oh, if it wasn't for that metal plate from the something job. And they're like, oh, okay, if you really think. But you know how how many times I'm sure did you have irritating actors come up and go, can we please have logic here or something? We acknowledge a common reality that she was shot in the head. You're like, it doesn't matter on TV. Doesn't matter.
We make it follow the bouncing ball and not just happen.
I am always I'm always on the actor's side. It drives me crazy when we people don't care. It's like, no, I care. When I watch something like that, I just go like, wait, you can't do that. It's like, and it's also the easiest thing to do. It's like, put them in
one line. It's one sentence to say, like, thank God I had a metal plate.
Or private practice. Like someone would like chop all their hair off me when I was going through my divorce. I'm like, can somebody just say, oh, nice haircut, Madison, or something, or oh, you cut your hair as you're doing a walk and talk in the elevator. Just acknowledge it. Yeah. Oh, you went blonde. No one talks about it. It's like on soap operas when they replace, whatever, Scotty with the other Scotty or whatever, and there's like,
Well, that's why when we come back. Yeah, that's why we come back from hiatus. I always like to put in a line for my actors or actresses. It's like somebody goes, "Oh wow, you put on a few pounds," just to keep the logic going, and they seem to like it. I've found that actresses, especially,
you got fat.
Yeah. Oh my God! Someone found the groceries.
I'm gonna throw up. Look how fat you are.
Yeah. You're not a vegan anymore. And then and you're just on. You're on to the next thing.
You're on. Just acknowledge the common reality.
We're all looking at how terrible or boy you got older.
Yeah.
Well, when you're also on 13 Reasons Why, which was another show that I very much enjoyed.
Those Queen of Netflix. Let's just do it. The Queen of Netflix.
Okay, I have literally actually quarantined as opposed to the way there's fair weather quarantine people that are like, wear a mask, and then you see them at a like fucking raging party. I've actually tried to do the right thing. I've watched so much fucking Netflix.
And I know from your posts. I'm like, you are.
It's like truly upsetting. Like I'm gonna have to like take a social etiquette class when this is over to learn how to speak to people and like interact with other people because it's truly embarrassing. But on 13 Reasons Why, I have to ask this because each season, how much those kids, like everyone ages, like those kids, you know, all of a sudden, what's the guy's name?
Like 35.
Yeah. And all
like,
of a sudden it starts looking like, oh my God, that he's on Medicare. There's no fucking way.
They look like the high schoolers in Grease, the movie. You know, it's like Stockard Channing is 16.
Yeah. Like that's what I always think when I look at those kids. I'm like, oh my God. And then that one, what's the actor's name? He drives the muscle cars. He looks like Wilmer Valderrama.
Yeah. Tony. He's played Tony. In Christian Navarro. He's the sweetest guy ever. Yeah.
You look at him and I'm like, he is tatted up on his neck and shit. Like the first season, I was like, wait, don't your parents have to sign off on a tattoo for you? Like, and he was supposed to be like 15 or 16. And then for the last season, I'm like, oh my God, he's twice divorced. And he's
struggling to make his alimony payments. It's really, it was actually like, why don't we write that in the storyline, Brian Yorkie? Whereas
nobody ever asked me to punch up shows like that. You know, if they did, I would.
When kids come up to the high school looking for him, like, we need our money.
A pilot that I'm so sad, like it's a pilot I wrote that we got very close to being made, but it was basically like a total takeoff on like the OC. It was called Ocean Del Mar. About this, which is Ocean of the Ocean. But I had one character in it. He was the hot kid in high school. And I just thought like, he didn't say very much. He just was like constantly but I wanted to play him. This is like when I was like, 45. And I just thought like, and you never say anything and and it's like, he goes to the liquor store and it's like, oh, I don't know my ID. And it's carded, but he's like, just everybody in the world just acknowledges that he's part of it. He's just a little bit player. And because I always felt that way watching like 90210, and I just
what's her name? The woman isn't she the president?
She's the president of SAG, where we get emails. It's like, hey guys, it's Andrea Zuckerman.
It's like she's so not in high school. She literally was like the lady trying to get alimony from her husband. I was like, no.
And on 90210, it was like she lived in the valley on the wrong side, and she lived with her grandma. And I'm like, her grandma is so dead. Her grandma's been dead for fucking 50 years because she's
the court stenographer in the valley, is what she is. She doesn't go to Beverly Hills High School.
Between Beverly, she was literally in a commercial for Boniva while they were showing that. It was like, hi.
Like, do you have crepey skin? Well,
yeah, he's doing reverse mortgages with Tom Selleck.
But she's great. She's the president of SAG. Thanks. Get rid of her.
Thank you.
But every time I see that, it always makes me laugh when there's just a person that like they start looking so much fucking older, and then you have to play that off.
Yeah, you're like, okay. But there were I remember I went to high school in Tucson, Arizona, and there was always this random, like only like one or two dudes in the school could grow like a full beard as a sophomore, but we're also balding. Like, you're like, oh, this is so still new for my little teenage mind that you are, Danny, you may relate to this.
I do.
Losing hair at 15. No, I'm kidding.
Dare you. I had a full head at 15, but I was also...
But those guys in like wood shop, they were like, yeah, I have a full beard.
Yeah, it's like I have a family of 4. I've got
you're like,
I was like, I know.
Can you buy the cat?
I was the first kid, like I was like the first kid with like hair on my chest, like in 6th grade. It started to come in. I could grow a beard. I actually could grow a beard in like 8th grade. It was like, and so, but I had at least had the hair to go.
The hair that to back it up, because it's very disorienting as a younger person to be like, hold on a minute.
It started the tradition of me always looking about 15 years older than I'm hoping I eventually catch up to my own age, like at 80. Oh, he finally looks 80 and not like, because I look 80 now.
Could be Benjamin buttoning that thing. We don't know. That could happen.
Oh, I'd love to be Benjamin buttoning this shit. End my life. Well, either way, I'll end my life in a diaper. So
that's always, just as long as you have good posture, just still sit up straight. Just don't completely sink into a baby.
And just don't like shout racist things.
Well,
on the street
that's
corner.
a lot to
Yeah.
have.
That's a
also
lot.
true. We don't want that. Come
That's-
on.
Wow.
So, okay, Kate, let's get back to being interviewers since people said that we were terrible interviewers. Danny?
I had a great time.
I know,
And if
I have a great time.
people are not genuinely entertained by this,
I
then
think
they've got problems.
I do have. This is sort of like what was funny because like after, and I was always curious about like what happened in between that. But like when after the men's room ended, I felt really terrible when we didn't get our show on the air. And then I'm watching Grey's Anatomy, and because my wife was watching Grey's Anatomy, and she'd been watching it, and I was like, wait, that's Kate. And she's like, oh yeah, Kate's the breakout character on this show. Like how did that all come about? Do you remember that process?
I don't remember. What year did we do men's room? Was that like 2003 or 4 or something like that?
2003 or 4. Yeah, right. I think it was 2003.
I think it was 3 because I think that in 2004, I don't know, there was somewhere between there when before I did the recurring role. I did the recurring part on Grey's before it was ever aired. So I shot 5 episodes. And it was just supposed to be recurring, and they were like, it was like going on the set of Apocalypse Now. They were like shooting for 2 years. They had different titles every week. Everyone was like, where are we? Who are we? And they were like showing episodes that were during lunchtimes on Fridays to keep morale up. I was like, this is a great show. Why are you guys all fucked up? But like literally one week you'd go into a table read, it was called Surgeons or Doctors. And then it was like, Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy is pretty good. I'm just going to say, I think it's a strong title.
Yeah.
But typical for network, they would just keep,
surgeons or doctors. I love that.
Yeah,
Surgeons.
it's really one was like doctors or surgeons, and then it was like, can we just call it Grey's Anatomy? Seems really clever. And but anyway, I just did those 5, and then I went back because I got finally. It was like that thing where the golden ring of like, or brass ring. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't even know because I'm just waking up still. But I got the lead in this pilot called Bobby Cannon that Barry Kemp made.
Oh, right.
And it remember it was like Kevin Sorbo. There was like a hybrid of like the hysterical Kevin, but he was actually really solid. But it was like a Tin Cup meets Cheers. Do you know what I mean? It was like whatever, something like that. No, that was like Missing Links. I'm confused. Whatever.
I know Writer was on that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, and it was Barry Kemp. So like, this is done. It's going.
Yeah.
It's just like, it was the most elegant process. I was super excited. People were like at NBC at that time were like, finally, you're getting a lead role. Like literally, I forget who it was. One of the execs, whatever. I was like, yay, 2 weeks on, 1 week off, or 3 weeks on, 1 week off. I'm so excited about my new half-hour schedule. And then it didn't go. And then I got called back to go on Grey's as a series regular. By that time, they had been picked up. They, had launched as a mid-season. Oh, this is all industry talk, guys.
That's interesting. So,
mid-season. I don't know if you know it. Look it up.
Holy shit! So that's like in the middle of the season, I think, for people who are not.
That's right.
Mid-season is abbreviation for middle of the
They're
season.
basically from the beginning. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So I came in on their cliffhanger, which was like episode 8. You must be the woman who's having sex with my husband, which literally got me more attention that I'd ever had in my career for those like 10 seconds on TV. So
Wait, was that the title of the episode?
He must be the woman. No, I don't know what the title was. That would be interesting to know what the title.
Now, were you the woman having sex with somebody else's husband, or was somebody else having sex?
Look at her. Of course, she was the person.
Please don't pretend that you don't watch Grey's Anatomy religiously, and even still in season 17. No, of course, I was sleeping with everybody. I slept with everyone in the hospital except for the babies. I didn't sleep with. I just tried to deliver them and save them. I lost a lot of babies. I would never go see the doctor.
But what about on the show?
That was one of the titles. Complications was one of the working titles on one of the table reads. Complications.
What a terrible title. We had a guy on Modern Family who was so bad at titles, like he couldn't. So it was like, because it didn't evoke anything. So one of them was like Choices was the name of the title. Really, Choices. Oh, was that the one where a character made a choice?
Oh my God. That's the worst. Danny, you've got great. Your teeth look really white. Have you been bleaching them during COVID?
I'm a separated guy in the last year and a half, and so I'm taking a lot of care in my teeth.
Take care of yourself. It's called taking good self-care.
It's called the gotta get naked.
This though. He just did this.
It's called the gotta get naked in front of strangers body. Well, I'm down to an
he
A cup.
shaved his. He had a beard for quite some
I did.
time.
I had a COVID beard that was hot, I thought.
And there was a lot of this before.
I couldn't stop touching it. Every time you admit, it was like.
It ruins the beard if you keep touching it. You got to let
You're
it go.
supposed to pretend like it's not there.
No, I can't. I've never been that person. I can't.
It's like that guitar. I won't play it. I just keep it
I was impressed though, but it's very impressive. You're like, oh, Jenny's playing the guitar. Cool.
But you know what? It's missing a string. It's just purely decoration. I have no idea how to play it. But I
want to tell you, I have one. It's way back. It's over there in the corner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Literally, my first instinct. This is how fucked up I am with technology. My first instinct was to start doing that and making it.
You had to do this
with my finger. Yeah, I was like, oh, I can fix that.
There's mine.
It's like a mini mark. But it's Oh, we all have guitars. Do you play yours?
Mine's a bass.
Here we go.
Do you play yours? Do you play
yours? Whatever. No, I'm not really going to play mine. But I just wanted to bring it over because
he was in a band in high school. He manages to work this into every.
I was in a lot of bands. Whatever. I'm a bit of a rock star. I can sing. It's not even a big deal. I'm mostly trained as a dancer, as you know, Kate. And
classically trained.
It's my first love.
Classically trained dancer at the clubs in Vegas. That's
I just want to say, I'm going to pay our guest a little bit of a compliment though. So like Kate is like, you've done like a lot of drama, you've done a lot of, but I don't think people appreciate just how goddamn funny you are on screen. Like you are one of the funniest people we would go back from run-throughs on that show and just say like, this woman is so goddamn funny. You knew exactly where the jokes were. So it was like, you were a delight. So
thank you, Danny.
I will say this about even hanging out with you. I found you to be very enjoyable and funny, and I don't always think that about people. And I was like, oh, I can tease you or you tease me back. I'm like, oh, okay, I like this. This is a fun person that has good energy.
Yeah, I mean, there's
not a lot of people are like that out here. That is very rare.
Aw, I mean, guys. Well,
there's things about you I don't like. Definitely. I mean, obviously, there's things I would change. But
get into that.
Next, you're doing that thing. We start with the positive, then you come in with the hardcore.
A compliment sandwich, if you will.
No,
we're gonna compliment.
She's a sheer delight.
No, but I feel like honestly, I feel like I learned a lot on Men's Room. Because it's hard. Sitcoms are hard, guys. But it is to not overwork stuff or it's just, or not hold on to what happened in a table read and try to make it happen it really is. I think it's one of the hardest things to do. Don't you think, Danny?
I totally do.
To see, I mean, it's very.
No, I do. And you had a natural instinct because a lot of people don't do this, and but you had in a multicam the tendency is to really overplay stuff, is to play to the studio audience and to play to the back row, and you were really, really good at playing the quiet moments funny. It was sort of like my favorite comedians who did that were like Bob Newhart on the Bob Newhart show.
Okay. So I can't help it. I can't even really.
Yeah.
Except when I did that, I really did.
You mugged there. That was pretty big. I missed that. God damn it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like an interviewer here. Have you ever gotten like a script in front of you for a part that you're like offended that they wanted you for a certain part?
Oh, that's a really good question. I was thinking I will say, did you hear The Handler was originally written how Steve Blackman pitched it to me? It's like, we wrote this part for John Hamm.
No, I didn't.
Really? Or a John Hamm type, but we're not going to.
Actually, you were the next choice. You're like, yeah.
I do have a strong jaw,
and
I have big peasant hands, man hands, some might say. So I'm like, maybe, okay, I'm with you. I'm still listening.
You're both strong women.
I mean, he could have said Ed Asner. So, I mean, if you're going to have somebody, I think that was better than like that,
I know. No, but that was just funny. I was like, we'll send it to you. He goes, he's like, but we want to change, but that actually, back in the day when people weren't writing for women before, Shonda Rhimes, we would just say, just write the script all for men and cast half women, and then it will all work out. Like, you don't really have to do much in terms of gender. Just write a good role and we'll come in and rock it. But I'm sure there were so many things like that I was offended by. But one of the things, I'm going to say this, and I don't know how Noah Hawley feels about me. He wrote Fargo and brilliantly, among many other things. But in season 1 I was in Fargo and I played the whore Gina Hess, former stripper, like conniving widow, the widow Gina Hess. And there was this script, and you wouldn't, you just get the scripts, and that's how you'd find out what you're doing in the episode as how it works. And the one, I think it was the final episode, and can you swear on this?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I've been swearing a lot, but I'm reading and I'm getting to work with Martin Freeman. I'm like, oh my God, this is so exciting. And Gina Hess gets hate fucked. I was like, and I was so angry, and I tried to call him, couldn't get him on the phone, of course, because he's hiding from my white lady rage. And I was like, so I emailed him like, Noah, you might want to call an actor and tell them and explain the scene before you just send out a script saying something like hate fucked. Imagine.
I've already been getting that done for 5 months.
I was like, can we talk about it? Can you just, I consider myself to be, I'm really not, I'm like, I've been in this industry a long time, before there was any Me Too, there was that whole cadre of women were like, well, we put up, I loved basically what Amy Schumer said. We're like, we get ritually sexually harassed. Yeah. What about it? But that was one where I was like, come on, call a gal up. Just call her.
No,
this is coming. There's a storm coming. There's a line.
A little voice memo, a little
voice memo, just even a text.
I worked with
Heads up, page 72, guys, or asterisk. Sorry, Kate. Whatever. An asterisk.
Get a helmet.
Just at the front of it. Warning: strip contains hate fucking, so you know it's coming.
Oh my God! Now there would be a trigger warning. There's what's the thing? Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes, please.
I just started watching Netflix, Jenny. So I'm watching The Crown, and I'm purposely taking my time with it. But it was have you guys watched it? Have you watched any of it?
Actually, one show I haven't watched. How about that?
Only season 1.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Well, there's as we all know, I think we all know, former Princess Diana was.
What's she up to now? I don't know. I haven't followed her, but she must be doing great. What's happening with her now?
Kind of why I haven't watched it. I feel like I know how it ends.
I know she's with Jodie Fahey, right?
But she was struggled with bulimia. She had an eating disorder, and so before one of the episodes, which is they're like trigger warning.
No,
there's going to show this. There are scenes of eating or bulimia or something. And I was like, can we just? There's no trigger warnings. People are going to be shot up on the street. It's just it got me a little some
of the trigger warnings. The funniest one, hands down, that I saw was. Okay, so I have also enjoyed getting some edibles from time to time during this quarantine. I
don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about yes?
Are you talking about reefer?
So I got a little bag of weed edibles and the Disney Plus app, and I've had some fun. I got to do my thing. I went to watch it was the Tim Burton remake of Alice in Wonderland. Okay.
Come on.
I'm so excited. I've got my edible. That thing is kicked in, full tilt boogie. I get situated, push play, and the warning said, smoking caterpillar. That was a disclaimer on Alice in Wonderland that
was the warning everyone. Part of your trip.
A smoking caterpillar might trigger something, and I was like, I'm fucking freaking, I'm tripping my balls up. I was like, what the fuck? What are we talking about? Why is that? Who is this for?
I guess the caterpillar could be encouraging drug use.
No, hold on.
But a caterpillar, who the fuck?
The internet's fault? Do you feel like it's the internet's fault?
Completely.
I think it is. I think it's siloed us so much that everybody, I don't know, as an actor too, I had a friend who's teaching college in Brooklyn, teaching acting class. She's like, I can't teach because the kids are triggered by everything. And like, that's called drama. It's called conflict. You always want to sit around with people that make the same Nike shoe as you make and talk about that. Like, that's not a play. It's not a movie. It's not a TV show. Like,
but what do you get though? Like, because of a role that you played where people think you're that person, how much because of the internet, I would assume like you realize how many ridiculous people are out there. Like, and how many times have you had to say, that's a character I played? That's not me.
Yes. Well, for sure. Yes. With definitely with Addison. I think people still think that, Addison, Forbes, Montgomery, Shepard, McGee.
No, but if someone's choking on a plane, does everybody look at you like someone's having a heart attack? Or
I just took my edible and my whiskey and I can't do anything. I could deliver a baby in a pinch. I think I could probably land the plane too.
Can I show you an irregularly shaped mole real quick?
Like, I can say all the things that you're supposed to say, like, I'm a doctor, and you could say all the get this.
I wouldn't even know. Get a Bevnap stat and a stirrer. We've got on a plane.
Get that cat out of here.
Peanuts. Oh no, someone has a peanut allergy. Get the pretzels. No gluten allergies.
But isn't it remarkable to like, just because of the internet and social media, especially, like how much we've realized how ridiculous people actually are, like how many insane people that think you're the person that you play on whatever show. Like Danny, Danny, I know like you probably got shit from like Modern Family. Like you write an episode and somebody's mad at you for the episode.
Oh my God. It was the craziest thing. I remember the first piece of hate mail I got. It was for the first, it was the first sitcom episode I was ever credited on. It was Evening Shade with Burt Reynolds. And it was my episode. And
you got to work with Burt Reynolds. Okay, I'm going to stop now, but
that's pretty impressive.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was, except for the actual working with Burt Reynolds part. But but the idea of working with Burt Reynolds, amazing. That was like wow. But it's really that you're distributing that in about 10 minutes. But I wrote a joke. It was for Michael Jeter, R.I.P. But it was like there was a business deal, and I said this deal is falling apart faster than a leper in an aerobics class. So, and apparently, which I thought was a good joke, I got hate mail from the it's not even called leprosy anymore. It's called Hansen's disease. And like, I'm glad, it was basically, dear Jew producer. It happens to be called Hansen's disease.
By the way, that's very redundant.
And it is. And I hope you find it fun. And it was like, wow, that was. I still have that frame somewhere because it was just so. My first like piece of like someone outraged. What always gets me is you make jokes about everybody in like a half-hour comedy show. And everybody's fine with every other joke that isn't about their group. So either you just don't like comedy, or you're just a selfish prick who thinks you're above being with no sense of humor. I never. You can make fun of like on the day my dad died. I had to come back to a job, and my comedy writer friends made jokes about it. Like it was like that's what I wanted, It's like good jokes, but yeah.
Well, has there ever been any line, Kate, that you've had that you're like, I can't say this, it's too much? Has there ever been something that's gone too far? Besides you getting hate fucked?
No, I didn't even have to say that, but I just had to portray that.
You just had to do it.
It was a delight. It was a delight. Oh my God. No, he actually had a really great director, and that was actually all right. So just in case you guys wanted to circle back to the hate fucking experience, it was
always
I want to call that back the whole time.
Super profesh.
Yeah.
So I got hate fucking Hobbit. All right. No. Okay. So let me so I remember not wanting to say.
By the way, this sounds just like Anne Murray again, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Remind me of her. I get that a lot.
Get hate fucked.
I think I just remember not wanting to say some stuff on private practice, and Shauna and I went back and forth, and then I eventually capitulated because she's the boss and she has a whole empire, and I was like, all right, I will be your minion. But I don't think there was anything I don't know. I'm sure there's been times where I had not wanted to say, but also it's like you're acting. But honestly, I think what happens, especially when you are to be fair to actors, you're doing this day in, day out. You're like, I don't want to say, she would never say that, but you're like, yeah, she would, because you're not her and it's her. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're not, and that you're acting. So that's mostly
it's really hard. Like I have a great deal of the nicest compliment any actor pays me is like it's like, thank you for that joke or something like that, because I think in comedy, I don't know, like there's a lot of bad comedy out there, and I know a lot of really gifted performers who are in really bad comedies, and I would not even know how to, like, when you're given a joke that is hacky, terrible, kind of like mean or just generally not funny, but like a bunch of like kind of hacky-ish comedy writers say, no, it's great. And like having to be bullied, like the idea of telling a joke that I didn't find funny, I don't think I personally could do it. It's like, it's so hard. I don't know how you sell that. So I always, especially when I'm working with good actors, I always, if they have trouble with a joke that they're not getting, I always say like, okay, if you don't get this joke, then it's never going to be funny. Like
and that's actually something that's really fair, don't you reckon? I think that, well, I haven't said things, so I can't say that, but I definitely have pitched like, hey, what if I said this instead, and making it, especially in roles where you're sort of like the gal, like it's like the people are just like, oh yeah, we wrote that. And you're like, let me just try to make it not like filled with a little less tropey. And that's not you guys, that's more to like just basic stuff where things have been like they've written characters, but they're just not flushed. So I think there's merit to it. And then there's abject respect for writers. That's just how I feel like it all starts with that. And, but I think you're right, Danny, that if somebody doesn't get a joke, doesn't matter how good the joke is, if they can't say it and get it, they're going to ruin it anyway. So and I always respected that about sitcoms. So they're like, let's find another one. Cause I remember even doing a taping. He's like, no, give me another chance. Yeah. Let me try to make it work. I'm like, no, we're going to move on. We're going to give you another one. I'm like, but I love that one. Like, let me do it again.
Yeah, because it's funny because the guys, I actually do find that people who get like really mad at actors for not saying their joke or this, like if that's a consistent thing, I immediately, my head goes to, oh, you must be writing really shitty jokes. Like if you're hearing this all the time, it's like when somebody says, when you're that friend of yours who's constantly telling you how terrible everybody in their life is, like it's like, oh yeah, that person was awful. It's like, it's possible that you're awful.
You're the common denominator.
I know it might be you. Okay, because I don't know what time. Let's talk about what we're watching now, because that's a big component of this. So, Kate, what have you been watching?
What would you like to recommend to our people?
Watching The Crown. I watched Queen's Gambit. Did you guys watch Queen's Gambit?
Yes,
loved
it.
I mean, what's not to love? I literally was like, well, I can quit acting now because she's better than everybody. The whole thing. So
remarkable.
So good. So insane, right? What else have I been watching? What have you guys been watching? That's like the two things that I was watching. Queen's Gambit.
I just watched on HBO Max, The Flight Attendant. The first
how is that?
3 episodes of that. Really, like I'm into it. I finished like The Undoing first.
How was that? A little bit.
It was like good. Like I was happy to have it. It wasn't a super long series or whatever. I was just disappointed with how
it feels like empty calories when I look at the preview. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. It was like it was there to watch.
It was very like.
Yeah,
it's very good.
I mean, like I had just watched Queen's Gambit. Like I just seen something good, and then it was like.
Your Zoom performance, Kate, has early buzz. That was that was unbelievable. I encourage everybody listening to watch the YouTube version.
That's going to be a meme now. I hope to God it will be a meme. Oh my God, please let it be a meme.
Is that your dream right now, is to be a meme?
Yes.
Go on, Jenny, what else?
So The Flight Attendant, which I've just seen the first 3 episodes that they just put out, and now it's going to be like every week that they'll have one. It's entertaining. Like I don't know, like will I keep like being like super into it. But Kaylee Cuoco, yeah, she's fantastic in it. She's really, really good. And then I started watching. I watched On the Rocks.
Oh, the Sophia Coppola one.
Yeah, Bill Murray and Rashida Jones. Very enjoyable.
I want to see that.
Okay, good.
Then I watched Super Intelligence, which
was kind of dumb.
Who was in it?
Somebody I love, Melissa McCarthy, but Bobby Cannavale, or however you say it.
Cannavale. Yeah. Okay.
I couldn't get into it. Like
a movie or a TV show?
It was a movie on HBO Max.
Oh, okay.
But I could see like there was parts in it. I need to actually finish it before I just trash it, but that wasn't my favorite thing. But I did enjoy On the Rocks, and I think The Flight Attendant has some potential.
Okay. I have a huge
Daniel.
My son actually made me hip to this, and I heard this from somebody else as well. So two people had told me. So there's a show on Amazon right now that is not very good. It's called Utopia, and it's not great. It's a remake, though. What I found out, I watched like a little of it, and it was just like I didn't like it. It's a remake of a British series that did 2 seasons that was on of 6 episodes each. That was on like in 2013, 2014, called Utopia. Holy shit. This British series, Utopia, it's crazy violent, but it's also insanely beautiful. The characters are brilliant.
Oh, now I'm going to watch that. The British one.
Yeah. And I don't know, like I found it on YouTube. So go,
it was on YouTube?
Somebody put it up on YouTube. It's on YouTube, perfectly copy, but it may be available. It's hard to find here in the States. I bet in Australia, you might be able to find it or find it on YouTube.
It's like when they did the remake of The Bridge. Did you ever see The Bridge, the actual Danish-Swedish series?
Yes, I watched that. That was amazing.
Amazing, right?
Amazing, yeah.
And then I didn't even bother when they tried. I was like, why America? Why?
There were so many things like that came out at once that I saw Danish series and like the return, when they
the return.
So many, I watched the originals of everything, so I didn't give a shit to watch the American version.
Yeah, you're like, sorry guys.
I'm like, I sat through, I read the subtitles.
Happy Norwegia.
Yeah.
That's how they say it, Norwegia.
But I don't get why. I almost get why they do it with Scandinavian television or German television. But like when it's British television, it's like
let it. Well, The Office.
But The Office at least reinvented. Like The Office tried to reinvent and became a different show. So, but that's my highest recommendation is Utopia. So,
but Kate, what can we see you on next, Kate? Where can we find? What's the new jam?
Nothing else. We got to the COVID content bubble. It burst. I had that little burst of, I was in Emily in Paris for a second, and then, you had me at Umbrella Academy. Now I'm. There's nothing else coming out.
I'm so fucking mad that you're not.
Always like to ask
when
we hear this, but do you need money? I mean, if that's something we can do for you.
I'm so glad you asked because I don't have any furniture. I have this couch and then a painting and then look at how empty my house is.
It looks like you're in an IKEA showroom. You just look like
Yeah, it looks like you're in The Orphan from Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, it's like a serial killer lives here. I could murder someone and clean it up very easily at this point. I don't have a dining room table. So if you want to, no, I'm supposed to get furniture before Christmas.
It's good to have a dream.
But Christmas there is July 25th, right?
Yeah, that's right. I was going to say something else about, no, nothing. I just remember, let me just pivot back to people getting triggered or terrible complaints about writers in television in general. And this it really pissed me off because the handler, she does, part of what was so fun about playing her is getting to like speak Yiddish, Swedish, Chinese. It's like she does it all and, controls time. And we had these people complaining, some young Jewish organization complaining that she was anti-Semitic because she peppered her conversation with Yiddish phrases. And I was like, and it was an allusion to Jews controlling the world in Hollywood. I was like, what the fuck? And it doesn't matter if Steve Blackman, who is Jewish, wrote it. It doesn't matter. It's like, and if that's the thing I will say, and I hope, not to be like Debbie Downer, but I really hope that this culture changes or that it's just little like little fart bubbles of comments and triggers. Like, I'm not to disrespect or people that get seriously affected or triggered by things, but it's just like, come on, man. How do you create with this world where people are like, I don't think that's it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, well, you have to learn to like differentiate between reality and a fucking show that's entertaining you. Yeah, you need to be like pushed and see things that are, like you have to act and do things that are different from who you are in order to be entertaining.
Yeah,
everyone was just going, "Hey, we're fine. I don't want to upset you." It's
I'm triggered by hacks. Like when I see something get made that was like, really, you spent like $50 million on that script, like that.
Yeah, that triggers me.
But the content we do it well. Fucking give a like. Yeah, I'm.
You guys, can we just start a new podcast called Triggered, and just fucking get people on who are and just say, "Hey, you know what?
Yeah, walk it off.
Yeah, walk it off. Grow up, pussy." Like that.
I said to one of my, I say one of my daughters. She's not really triggered, but she was like, she just like had like. I guess I said something. I forgot what it was, but she just looked at me like I was a dinosaur. And I just said, I said, I just want to live long enough till you get to watch a 20-year-old be horrified by what you just said. Because it's like everybody is going to horrify the upcoming, I thought I was the most woke ass person in the 80s and 90s. It's like my parents, these fucking boomers, they don't know what the fuck they suck. And it was like, nope. Now I'm like, yeah. So go to hell.
You guys, we're gonna get the triggered people on our asses.
Good.
I'm gonna have a bunch of trolls. They're like, you don't think triggering's real? Yeah. You don't think triggering's real? Well, okay.
My father died of triggering.
Yeah. You don't think that? Well, he died of triggering. So
he died of it.
Yeah.
I just buried my father because he was triggered by a gay joke.
Stage 5 triggering. So
what's the difference between triggered and feeling something deeply? Having a feeling.
God. I think one is
having a feeling that passes.
Well, it's funny you say that. I have a think piece in the next Atlantic on this, and I can't wait till you read it about.
Okay. You guys, okay. I know. Did I bring it down? Did I bring it too far down?
No, not at all. We can cut this all out. It'll be fine.
We'll cut the whole thing.
We're cut everything. I will be cut out of this by the end of it. So that's cool. That heartened by that.
Or if it's getting really down, we can just add we'll just add yakety sax underneath it.
Do I sound like old lady Walsh? Like, I can't believe these kids with the triggering. But it does feel a little. I guess that's yeah.
No, it's true. We do this all the time. Trust me. This is
I will never work again because I've triggered it. Yeah. Oh well.
It was a little get off my lawn, but we'll take it.
Get off my lawn.
Shake your fist.
Crazy kids.
Kate, it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. You're an utter delight.
Absolute delight. I'm so happy that we did this. This is so fun. This was the highlight of my week because all I have is Netflix. So
may I say you were incredible interviewers. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh my God, did you hear that? Yeah, I love that. Made me so happy.
Hey, before you guys go,
Guy, I'll forever remember you in front of the wall of Muppets. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Before you guys go, I want to take a quick picture. So that way everybody's smiling at the same time.
Oh, okay.
My bad hair.
Oh, you look wonderful. Danny with the guitar. Yes.
Hold on. Okay. Wait. My Siri just went off. Hold on.
Oh, Jesus.
Stop it, Siri. Okay.
Hey, here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, we're gonna do one more just to be safe. You guys look wonderful. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay.
Can I keep those in wallet size, please?
Yeah. Well, okay. So we got that. We ended the show, right? Or no?
I mean, you could say thank you again and close it out.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you. Or do you mean that Kate can say thank you to us?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you. I thank you. Thank you for having me. I hope that I.
No, seriously, I appreciate you doing this. This was so nice.
This
was really fun too.
I enjoyed it, guys. It was so much fun. Yeah.
It's always fun when we have like a friendly buddy on too, where we're not like too.
Yeah.
We weren't worried about offending you.
No, I didn't have I was going to do a monologue, a sonnet, one of my favorite from Shakespeare, but I could see that you people aren't serious about my craft. and we were going to go a
Kate,
different direction. So
we're really out of time. It's a shame we can't hear Kate talk about the craft, but look at the time.
That was our trigger word. We heard craft.
I am really triggered by an actor talking about a craft, or my big trigger though. At award season, I used to have this like with my college friends. Whenever somebody described a performance as courageous, we would all drink on any award show, and we would always get drunk. And so that was our favorite.
Can I just say, personally,
brave. Yeah.
I'm not going to speak. Yeah, brave. I'm not going to speak for I'm only speaking for myself. And when I say that one of the blessings, one of the silver linings of COVID pandemic is that although I didn't have to watch any award shows.
I know.
So beautiful.
It's so
I was like, there's award shows on top of award shows on top of award shows on top of award shows. And I was, maybe that's what actually caused COVID. No, I don't mean to. I can't believe I made a COVID joke. What? It wasn't even that funny.
Too soon.
Too soon, guys. Too soon.
Too soon. Too soon. Too soon.
Too soon.
I'm triggered.
I'm so triggered right now. I'm gonna throw up. This is bullshit.
Thank you,
I'm
Kate.
so triggered. Okay. All right.
All right.
Guy, I just want to thank Guy because I have no idea where you're going to find an endpoint on this, but you're going to do your magic.
Guy, I salute you. I enjoy you. I thank you. And I apologize.
Thank you for your services, Guy.
Yeah.
Guy.
Guy's already left. He's already left the meeting. He's like,
Guy, and there's no other way to say this. I love you, man. I
love you, Guy.
I fucking love you. I'm in love with you, is what I'm saying.
I'm in love with you. If I had a penis, I would put it on you.
If I had a penis, I'd put him on him. Yeah. Anyway, on
all
that
right, I hear the jackhammer calling, guys.
Okay, go to the jackhammer. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
Kate.